All right, in this chapter, we're going to be talking about one of the most important things you'll manage in your dealership, and that's your parts inventory or accessory inventory in your parts department. This is going to ripple through the dealership. Having it accurate is important, and being able to quickly find parts is something you'll need to do in DX1. So, today we're going to talk about inventory management, how to go view all those items, how they get there, and how to add private parts if you need to. And before we get into the actual inventory management, I quickly want to explain the difference between public parts and private parts. So in the reporting section of DX1, we have a report, Parts 401. You can access this again if you need to. And what this is a list of public parts catalogs. And what that means is we manage this data. We work, example, with 509 and BRP and Beta and all these manufacturers to have them send us the data. And what we do is constantly keep it maintained for you so you do not have to do it. So it's important to understand to look at this list. If you are new to DX1, you're a new parts manager, or you're simply looking to add a new vendor to your database, what you want to do is come here and see, does DX1 already work with this particular manufacturer or vendor? And if you see them on this list, all you have to do is reach out to DX1, let them know that you need to get authorized for the catalog. They'll ask for your dealer number, and depending on the manufacturer, they can do some items to get it connected. And usually within 24 hours, you'll have access to that part catalog. And again, that's great because you will not have to go to the manufacturer's portal when there is an update to download the file and then come in and do it in a manual process, which we will talk about in a further chapter. Okay, so the moral of the story is here, before you add a catalog or a vendor into your parts department, it's good to come look at this report, see if the vendor's here. If they are, reach out to our support team and ask them how you can get them linked up so that you can use managed data. All right, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to go to inventory management. That can be found under parts and accessories. I can see the tile here, inventory management. When I click it, it's going to land me on a page, and I have a couple different options I can do to search for parts. So the first is all fields. And if you've watched previous chapters, you've seen the all field search is available for customers. And what that means is, rather than selecting part number and searching by a part number, saying I want to search by description and typing a description, I can say, you know what, I'm going to type something and just match what you find. So maybe I want to look for a spark plug. I can see here spark, but I got spark plug, I got spark arrestor. So I want to be a little bit more specific. So I'm going to type spark plug, and you can see I'm starting to get way better matches now. All those spark arrestors removed from this search, and I can tell what's matching because it's bold. Okay, and I can continue to type BR8ES. And again, now I can see all kinds of matches. Now, again, in this search, you can see here that we have red parts and black parts. I can see my vendor, which vendor I'm going to get it from, what the price of the part is, and how many I have on hand. Okay, so that's just a little bit, again, of showing you how you use the all fields for searching parts. I also could have searched by part number here, 0217 dash. I also would have found my spark plug that way. So there's a number of different ways, and ultimately it saves you time from go ahead and constantly using the drop down. You can just type and search what you want to do. Now, if you decide to search by a part number, that's fine. You can do that. You can type by partial numbers. You don't have to find the full part number. But obviously, the more you know, the better your results will be, right? And so we can see down here, even without typing the full part number. Again, just to reemphasize and kind of embed what we're talking about the difference between black and red parts. This part from this vendor, even though it's the same part number, I've had it, but it's discontinued. Here from this vendor, it's red, I have not had it. Okay. One of the other things you can do is look to see like things, what's everything in my inventory. So I can toggle that on, say for all catalogs, and hit search. Here, for the sake of clean data and for training, I haven't hit you over the head with tons and tons of data. We wanted to make it easier to read. Now you can also see here, from time to time, you can move your grids around, you can customize them. We're going to talk about that in a second. But before we do, I want to mention at any point in time on a customizable grid, which is what we're going to talk about, if things get a little out of whack, which they might when you come here, somebody might have messed with your screen, you can always hit reset grid. It's going to put it back to the default categories, the default spacing, etc. Now, to customize the grid, you can click any of these black gears on top of any column, and you can click column chooser. Maybe you don't want to show some stuff like I don't need to see the UPC. I don't need to see the brand. I don't need to see the category. I don't need to see bins. We don't use bins. I do want to see on hand available. I would like to see the current cost. I would like to see a last inventory count and quantity on order and back order. I could hit apply, and now you can see I've added those columns in. Additionally, I can move these columns around. It might definitely make more sense to move the cost next to the price. It definitely could make more sense to move the quantity type things all next to each other. So quantity on back order, quantity on hand, etc. We can do that. You also notice I can click and drag to shape the spacing of the column header itself. So again, you can use any of those types of items. If I want to come over here and see the description, I can also easily bring it out farther or double click. Double click will kind of, just like in Excel, try to use your margins to try to bring it in and give you exact spacing. So again, and at any point in time you want to hide these, again, you can go back and use the column chooser, or you can simply say, you know what, I don't want to see the catalog. Let's just hide this column again. Now, I do want to point out that when you do hide a column because you've changed the number of columns that are in the grid, it goes back to even spacing. So before you go and move all the space widths of these columns, I would make sure that you have the columns you want in the grid and set in the order you want. That way, when you make those changes, you don't have to do them again. So that's just a little bit of an overview of how to get to the part inventory page and how to do a part search. In the next chapter, we're going to look at the actual part detail itself and how to add a part.